Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dela's Voice. Today, I have the pleasure of having on the show again my friend, Dr. Ajam, and we're going to have an interesting talk all about the weather.
Yes, yeah. Actually, that is what it should be. First off, thank you for having me. It seems that we are having a regular meeting almost every month.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's this time, we are using even more of technology, and it's a
That's
Zoom
right.
meeting that is live on Facebook too. Now, the reason why we have it on Zoom is that I would like to share some things with the audience in this uh, interview, I mean, this program that we have. That's why Zoom works better because it makes it totally possible for me to put up files or pictures or even video or something that I want to share with you. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for
Oh,
having
of
me
course.
and having this program today.
That's awesome. So, I was thinking today, if I should stay home for 3 weeks, like my son is for the next 3 weeks, he's going to stay home. A lot of people have been off, are off work, and they have to stay home, whether if it's to take care of their kids or to work from home. And I was thinking, my goodness, I have not stayed home for 3 weeks straight for a very long time. All the things that I could be doing while I'm at home for 3 weeks. And you know what? Then I thought maybe there's a reason behind all of this.
Yeah,
And I hope
I
you
believe
can
so.
shed some light into this today because I'm really interested.
Yeah, you remember we have been talking about some other topic for today. It
Hmm.
was in the continuation of what we had before in regards to mindset and even business mindset, something about, and this time we wanted first wanted to talk about the deepest desires that we have and how they are affecting our lives. But something happened just few days ago that made me ask you to, if we can, uh, to change the topic for today. And it was that I was in a meeting with my colleagues, and after the meeting, when everybody were just talking casually, uh, one of my colleagues was talking to another one, saying that, "Have you watched the movie Contagion? Oh my God, it's amazing! It has predicted what is going on in here in 2011, and all the actors are stars, and the movie is very well made, and the disease starts in China and stuff, and it is amazing, and you have to watch it." And you know, I could contain myself for a while, but when he recommended watching that movie to others, I couldn't stand it in, and I interrupted, and I say, "I'm very sorry to interrupt, but I would like to ask and recommend, ask you, not even recommend, ask you to not to watch such movies, please." And then we had this discussion that was the, let's say, context for this program today. I told them that, I believe I can say chances are that we have manifested what is going on today and started this from years ago. As we have always talked, the law of attraction is not just for money that I have in my mind, but is not in my life. All our lives are the manifestation, day to day, minute by minute manifestations are dominant of our dominant thoughts.
Hmm.
Whatever happens in the universe out there, I don't know, but I know for sure, and science approves that what we think, we feel, we do, then it manifests. Manifestation is not something pseudoscience scientific or something that is, we can talk about it and it's very vague. Honestly, there are lots of stuff that are not very scientific about it, but one thing that is even proven is something we call self-fulfilling prophecy. There is a research about it, and it was something that I guess happened. I mean, the research was in 70s or 60s. I can tell you the number exactly. They, for the first time, there was a research like this. In one class of students in elementary school, as far as I can remember, the teachers were told that you will be dealing and working with gifted students. Some of your students that we don't know which one, and we will not tell you, are gifted students. So at the end of the year, it is totally natural that you have higher than normal outcomes and you have more accomplishments. Now, what happened was that, in fact, the teachers had that expectations, worked with the students the way that as if they are gifted, and actually had those accomplishments and better results more than average. Now, the trick is that the students in that class were not gifted or special children. They weren't special in any ways. They were totally average and normal students. I mean, the average of that school, right? They were comparing two classes in the same school. What happened was that the teachers, now that the seed of that thought was planted in their minds, they had expectations. They thought about it and they acted as if this class is a class of gifted students.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, yes, the results actually were compatible with their expectation and their thought.
Mm-hmm.
That happened years ago and was the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the purpose of this program, I went through some other things that could have the effect of self-fulfilling prophecy regarding the disease that we have, the coronavirus, and I mean, COVID-19, which is a novel coronavirus. We have been dealing with coronavirus for ages. Coronavirus is, I mean, the type of virus the same as flu, but it changes every year. That's why we have to have a flu shot every year. And this one is a new one. Now, I went through it and found out that from 1995, at least from that time, maybe it was even before that, but 1995 was one of the new movies that were made about a disease and the pandemic and whatever. It's the name is Outbreak, which is
Yes, I
outbreak,
remember that movie
right?
very
Oh, you
much.
still
Yes,
remember it? Yes, yeah.
yes.
I never watched it, and actually, I do not watch zombie movies. End of
Apocalyptic
time
movies.
apocalyptic movies, something that the whole world has finished and changed and everybody is a disaster and the life is miserable. I don't watch them
What do you
because
mean?
I
Those
know
are the
that
movies that do best in the box office.
they are the best in the box office. Yes, they sell, and that is the point. Now,
Yes.
thank you for mentioning that. That is exactly the point. When we watch those movies, we are planting the seed in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the SARS came in 2003, 2002 to 2004 was the period of SARS outbreak. You know that there were only more than 8,000 deaths. I say only because compared to many other diseases, compared to just normal flu, which kills 61,000 people only in US every year, that is not many. But at the time that SARS outbreak came in, people were thinking, yes, SARS has a higher mortality rate than normal flu, but the thing is that it is not spread as easy as normal flu. What if someday something with the mortality and let's say killing capacity of SARS, and the capacity to be spread easier can happen. People were thinking about it from 2003. Then they started thinking and making movies and writing books. And people started buying them. As you said, they are uh, best in blockbusters, right? And things like that. Now, when we plant this, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It will happen. It should happen because we are manifesting our lives. And I believe the collective that we are living in has manifested this. Now, media has helped that so much because the media's job is to offer something that our minds, I mean, our attention is attracted to it. Now, I was about to write something about this. The title was, I mean, I wrote it down, but then now I'm telling you about it just today. The title was 1 million year is not a long time. And why I wanted that topic, that title, because 1 million year is almost the age of our human brain. We like to think that we are rational people. We like to think that we are thinking by our human brain. But the fact is that most of the times we are thinking with our reptile brain, which is 650 million years old. So when something happens, when a fact and piece of information is given to us, first thing that happens, it goes through a filter. The filter is this information like a warning or is it safe? If it is safe, it passes. That filter is not our human brain. That filter is the reptile brain, 650 million years old, right? And what happens is that the media give us the bad news all the time because it has the capacity to attract our attention. We are hardwired to pay more attention to bad news, and media do that for us. Now, when they say, when the news comes out that, for example, one new case in Vancouver, this is one piece of news, but you read it in 85 news outlets.
Yes. 85 times.
85 times,
Yeah.
right? So it is as if 85 people has actually died. This is one multiplied by 85 times bombarded by those type of news, you know. That's why then we think about it, we act as if there is catastrophe, there is an apocalypse, there is a disaster, and the disaster happens. You have watched videos of people going to shopping malls and buying toilet papers. What the? I mean,
I still don't understand that one. And anyone I talk to doesn't understand it either.
Yeah, because you know, there is, I was reading somewhere, they said there has been no proven relationship between the virus and paper toilet.
Yeah, honestly.
So what's the point in buying so much? What's the point in spreading the news all the time? Okay, if I need the news, I will go to CNN, Reuters. There are so many of them. Mainstream news are there. But then those news are shared by my friends over and over and over again. Now, one piece of news is shared by, I mean, usually they are Associated Press or something that is a mainstream news provider. Then it gives it to CNN, this, that. In Canada, we have the Toronto Star. We have, I don't know, there are so many of them that I have in my Facebook. Actually, my Facebook is more like a magazine. But again, one piece of news is given to all of them. So now we have, let's say in Canada, we have 15. I have 15 of them on my Facebook. That 15 is also multiplied by another 10, which are my friends. So one person is now 15, and 15 is now 150. 150 times I hear about one person who has contracted that virus, who has been affected by the virus. That is how the stress goes up. That is how the disaster that doesn't need to be there is now created. We have created a disaster. Now, do we have to be careful? Absolutely, yes. Do we have to panic? Not at all. I'm not going to go through all the scientific things that say, you know, the mortality rate for it is 3.4, and it is basically affecting older people or immunocompromised. I'm not going to go through all that medical stuff, right? There are so many people that have that kind of specialty, they have that kind of knowledge, and they will share it, and people will share it again and again and again.
And I think you're right. We've heard it over and over and over again. So you're right. I think everybody knows the mortality rate by now. And
you know, there is nothing, no new information that is spreading. Right, you have to wash your hands, but that is actually what you have to do for normal food.
Yeah.
You know, The flu season is from October to May, almost, more or less. And at that time, it's always been said, when you come home, wash your hands with warm water and soap and stuff like that, right? So it is not news. But now people say, oh, now we have to wash our hands. No, you have to wash your hands all the time. You have to keep yourself healthy all the time. You have to care about your health, about sanity, about everything all the time. This is not very different. Yes, you want to keep distance. You want to be careful about that. That is actually something that people in Asia have been doing for centuries. You have noticed that they never shake. I mean, in their culture, there is no handshake, right? Japanese and Chinese, they do like this, and Indians do like this. Why? Because they know that contact means contamination, cross-contamination. People give it to each other. So they have been doing all those precautions for years and for centuries. Nothing is new, but the disaster is now new. Now we have social media. Now we have new news outlets that are designed to create catastrophe.
Yes, to
And
create
then
panic.
to create panic.
Yeah.
That piece of news, they say it in a very neutral way. Someone in Alberta got the virus. Then that is 10 times. That 10 times is 10 times, which means 100 times. So that is how the panic is created. It is not because of the virus. It's because of what we have in here. And there are many things that people are doing with that. Now they share videos of, empty aisles. Yes, in one store there are empty aisles. You go to another store and everything is normal. A friend of mine was sending me a video of lines up for purchasing grocery in groceries, and I told him, the no frills close to my home is like that every Saturday. And the video was from Saturday. So are we making panic? Are we making the disaster? I guess we are. I guess this is now accumulation of all those things. It doesn't have to be a cause of panic. It has to be, it is a cause of being careful about ourselves, but not a panic.
I wonder what goes on through people's heads when they go and see the empty aisles, because that in itself is a cause of panic.
Exactly.
You go to a store and the aisles are empty, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my family? And so it's a ripple effect that keeps going and going. And so I just want to reiterate what you said. This is a panic caused by us. We do this to each other. So I totally agree with you. This is a very interesting talk. So I know there are some people watching right now, and I want to encourage people, if you have any comment on this, please write them, and it'll be a great discussion to have here. So keep going, because
when you said about the empty aisles, I was thinking, if I go to the supermarket close to my home and I see something is not there, what do? Do I panic? No. I tell the guy, do you have it? No, we don't have it. We will have it 2 days from now. Okay, I'll go home. Maybe I go back 2 days later, or I just forget about it and go next time. Maybe, it's been a time that I have been actively searching for romaine beans, right? To cook.
What were you looking for?
Yeah, romaine beans.
Okay.
That's the type of bean that we had back in the so much of it, but it's not in the stores now. Okay, so what happens? Do I panic? No, there was another type of bean. I bought that.
But what, you mean you didn't post it on social media?
No. I should have done that. I should have done that. Actually,
people would have told you where to get it.
Actually, I should have told them. And I check a couple of things. It seems that it is one of those types of beans that people in Canada do not use much. That's why there is lower market for it, and it is less. Actually, it's a very good type of bean because it's cooked very faster than chili beans or red beans or other types of it. But it doesn't matter. I didn't tell it. You know what? I went to find something and it's not there. Oh my God, that's a disaster. are you not panicking? And then that video could be shared 10 more times, and everybody starts to panic about one type of being is not there. That is exactly what is happening. There is no evidence that there is a shortage of anything in Canada.
There's no
But we
shortage
are
of
acting, there is
anything.
no shortage of anything.
Mm-hmm.
We act as if I have to stay at home, I have a picture in here. I guess I hope I can share it with you. There is a lady in line that has big skid of uh, toilet papers to take home. I don't know. It is the use. She can use it for maybe 5 years. You are not going to be at home for 5 years, you know. But
Oh.
one thing that happens in their mind is that they compare that those news that they hear with the movies they have watched and the books that they have read.
Mm-hmm.
What if that thing that I say I watch with those zombies going around and all the disaster and everything is nothing is there, and what if that happens? That is not going to happen unless we manifest it with our thoughts, by our self-fulfilling prophecy that that should happen too, that should happen too. And then one day when, I mean, God forbid, if it happens, you say, you know what, I told you so. Someone, I don't know, 30 years ago said that it will happen. They didn't say it will happen. It is a movie, but me, you, all of us create a disaster out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now,
So
just one, go ahead, go ahead.
so I do want to say this. Coronavirus is happening. We're
Yeah,
not saying it's not real.
yeah,
We're,
it is real. Yeah,
right? What we're saying merely is that the panic that is created around this is not necessary.
it is created by our minds.
Yes.
Out there, there is no disaster. Out there,
Mhm.
it is, uh, politicians, countries are making measures. And as I said, the number of people who have died is not yet even close to people who die in 1 year in in the US from normal flu. Now,
You said
again, 61,000.
61,000.
Yeah, I can share in the comments after the video the link to CDC
Mm-hmm.
that tells that estimate that they have estimates every year, and this is something that I have estimated. I did my research for this, and I would like everyone who is watching this to tell me that I'm wrong and tell me where to find the real information.
No,
But my yeah, my
you can do your own research around this stuff, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the number of deaths is not close. There is no disaster. Yes, people have to quarantine. Why not? Let's let them do. But again, when you have a normal flu, it is recommended that you stay at home for 1 week. This one is recommended to stay 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to downplay this, but there is no disaster. Why panic? Why buying so much stuff and put it in here? Fortunately, uh, uh, toilet paper doesn't go rotten, doesn't go bad. But there are other things that you buy and go bad, and you have to put them in garbage just because you panic. And circulating those uh, news all the time. And as I said, we compare because we watch movies, because we read books. Just today, a friend, just about 10 minutes before we start this talk, a friend of mine on Facebook shared something that has been made that in 1981, uh, a book has been written, the eye in, I can't even remember the name, that describes coronavirus, I mean, the novel coronavirus, because it's new, just the way it is, starting from Wuhan, this, that, this, that, this, that. And, and it's amazing. People don't know how it predicted. They said something, they have written something 40 years ago, and we made it, in my opinion, we have made a disaster out of it today. We have been brewing this for so long, from 1995, maybe from 1981, but plan, this seed has been planted in our minds. Now we think about it, think. And now, by the way, one thing that I wanted to say for the word novel. Novel means new.
Mm-hmm.
That is new. That's why news agencies are so fond of it. Why do we don't talk about the number of kills by flu? and many other things that are happening. I remember in late 90s, there was a disaster. There was a genocide in Africa, and media didn't say anything about it because that was not new. They have been killing each other for years and years. And then when something happened, because it wasn't new, nobody talked about it. Now, this virus, we have influenza every year, between 3 to 4 types of it that are combined in vaccine. That's why you have to have the vaccine every year. But this one is a new one with new characters. That's why it's all in the news, and then it multiplies and creates the disaster. That's how it's happening. And I would like to actually urge everyone to stop sharing those news. Stop watching those news.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what's the latest policy, what's the latest precaution. All right, you want to check the news once a day, but not all the time. What's the use of? I have a friend. I guess I have unfollowed him. It seems that he is not employed because he is sharing those news, and he is proud to say the latest news every minute update. Why do I need a minute update? What is changing? Knowing that more people have taken it, how does it help me? I know that I have to be careful. I have to limit my social activities. I have to wash my hands. I have to be taking care of myself. I have to try my best to improve my immune system. I will do that. Then what's the use of knowing that 2 people contracted it or 20 people? What's the use of it? Nothing will change. The only thing that changes is in your mind and the level of your stress. So you read or watch a piece of news 10 times, 100 times. Now your level of stress goes up. Just let me share something in here. I have this picture to share. See, I'm not going to go through all those medical stuff. As I said, this show is not about medicine. There is no recommendation. There is no diet, nothing. But this is something that everybody can find in everywhere. Then it is proven. When you are under chronic stress for a long time, this is cortisol, is the hormone that goes up. And one of the things that cortisol does is weakening the immune system. You see that? So by multiplying bad news and by watching them and by following bad news, all you are doing is to weakening your immune system. So why do that? I don't see any point in that.
And the more stressed you are, the more cortisol you are
more cortisol you
creating
have
in your body, correct?
And there are so many of them. As I said, you see, there are more than one. Just let me show you one more time. There are more than just one, but the most important for our purpose is about immune system. You want to do everything you can to help your immune system, help you go through this time. You don't want to weaken your immune system.
Right.
And by following news all the time, every minute, any update, you are doing that to yourself. We are continuing that manifestation. We are giving it power. We are giving it power by following. Please stop sharing the news that is not helpful to anyone. News are given to us by the mainstream media. If there is any policy change, a change in policy, if there is anything that you need to know, CNN is there, Reuters is there. In Canada, we have Toronto Star, and we have a couple of other things, Globe and Mail. They will tell us. We can check 1 time a day, maybe 2 times a day, and we'll be good. We don't have to have the screen in front of us and listen to the media and share it on Facebook and multiply it by 10 all the time. That is not necessary. It will increase stress and weaken your immune system.
Thank you so much. That was such a powerful image, and I think that I'm gonna remember that for sure. And I want to say also that we all have a free will, right? And so for people around us who are so adamant in sharing all this news every second of every day, we also have the same amount of free will to choose to look at that, watch it, propagate it, or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Correct? And
Yes.
so, personally, I choose not to engage in that sort of bad news all day
Yeah.
long.
That's what that's what I'm
Right?
doing too. Yeah.
So can we talk about that a little bit more? What can a person do as a, you know, to build up their immune system, to make that this time that we have, and for a lot of us who maybe are not used to staying at home for 3
Yeah.
weeks,
Yeah. Yeah.
what can we do that's
Yeah.
a little bit different?
Yeah. First of all, it's not 3 weeks. The recommendation is 2 weeks, the quarantine type. But because you have children, maybe,
Maybe,
and you
yeah,
have
that's what
you
I
have
keep
March break,
thinking. Yeah, my son
and
my
then
son's
two
home for
weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah. So 1 week of the March break and 2 weeks after that, and that's a wise policy because if people go around to other places, when they come back, you want them to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks. So the total is 2 weeks. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
first, let's make everything straight, not make a disaster out of this one too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Second, we are not going to talk about anything medical in here, right?
No.
But we know, and we just talked about it, that by sharing bad news and multiplying it, sharing means multiplying in this
Yeah.
case. One coronavirus case gets 150 when it is out by 15 news outlets, and you share it 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
The load of bad news is now multiplied,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So besides the medical part, that is not my specialty, and there are specialists out there that have that the final say on that. What we can do first: stop checking the news every minute, every hour. You don't need that much of news. You don't need that much of being updated all the time, right? Second, now you have time to spend with your family
Mm-hmm.
if you are at home. You have time to do many things that you have been waiting for so long. It is a vacation with zero cost for you. You're not,
Yay!
yeah, you're not spending any money. You're at home. Yes, you have your supplements and day-to-day living supplements
You
that you
have your
want.
toilet paper.
You have your choice. Yes, hopefully. Yeah, if others let you have it. But anyway, you can find it. As I said, there is no shortage. I was reading the news, and authorities said that don't panic. There is no shortage of anything anywhere, right? Nothing
Oh,
is gonna.
I know. I hear that all the time too. Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure, sure.
I have a comment here from Julie. I found my stress rising from emails, so I started cooking. Yesterday, I made a spaghetti sauce, lentil soup, and today, shepherd's pie from everything I had at home already. Feed
Thank you
your
so
soul.
much. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask you to please share those pictures, the picture of your
Yeah,
cooking with us.
yeah.
That is a good thing to share. Now, that is actually the second part that I wanted to say. First is what not to do, not to watch the news more than enough, not to share it more than enough. And second is doing what you want, what you have been waiting for a long time. And the last one is spread the good. I followed the hashtag spread the good, and I found that yes, actually there are outlets that talk about what good is going on in this world. What is good in this world? Now, I have a video in here, but I don't want to share because I don't see that. If you have time, I will put the link underneath
Yes, please.
And this is a 4-minute video by a Swedish doctor who summarizes all the advancements, all the good things that has happened in terms of people's wealth in countries and life expectancy. How from in the course of 200 years, how we have come from the life expectancy of 40 years in 1810 to more than 80 today in Canada.
Mhm.
At that time, the life expectancy was 40 years. Someone who was born today, we expected that they will live just 40 years. Now it is double, and the wealth of uh, nations have grown. There are things in our day-to-day life that were a luxury 20 years ago, and they didn't exist 50 years ago. This that is now broadcasting our uh, live show didn't exist 20 years ago.
Mhm.
But now you cannot even imagine life without your cell phone, without
Mhm.
your uh, smartphone, right?
Mhm.
So things are getting better, but yes, our brains are hardwired to pay attention to anything that has a warning, anything that shows warning. Yes, that is our hardwire. We have to be careful, right? But we don't need to make a disaster out of it.
Mhm. Yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I want everyone of us, to invite everyone to share and spread the good. Put your drawing, if you are reading something, if you have a family, if your family, you are four of you, five of you that are living in a house, and if you are self-quarantined, then you are doing it with yourself, your family, right? Share good things. If there is any policy related to quarantine, absolutely follow those policies. But if there is anything good going on, share it and put a hashtag spread the good on it. Please
Wash
let
your
us
windows.
wash your window. Yeah, sometimes you have to
Yeah,
declutter your house, declutter your
absolutely.
parking, your garage. There are many things that can be done in 3 weeks
Yeah.
instead of sitting in front of the TV or in front of the laptop or in your cell phone and just following all those
Mhm.
news.
Mhm.
What's the use of it?
Nothing.
Why making a disaster out of something that is not a disaster?
I have so many books that are waiting to be read. I can
Perfect.
start one of
Yeah,
those books. I have
absolutely.
a book that needs to be finished writing. I can get on that. I mean, the Persian New Year is next week, and tradition is we clean our entire home to welcome
Right.
the
Right.
spring,
Yeah. That
right?
that is a very good thing to do. Yeah, because spring will be in here officially in 4 days. March 19,
Yes,
11 something in Toronto time
yes,
will be the official beginning of spring.
yes.
And yes, as you said, Iranian tradition is that we declutter our houses, we clean everything, right? So that is something that everybody can do to go to welcome spring and
Hmm.
welcome goodness. Spread the good. I say that I love that hashtag. Spread the good.
That's
Spread
really
the good.
good. We're gonna
Instead of
start that.
yes, yeah,
Hashtag spread the good.
spread the good. Yeah, spread the good. Spread your cooking. Spread what you are reading. Spread the good things instead of spreading and sharing all those news that are not news anymore.
Hmm.
When someone is contracted corona, yes, everybody says that. But when you are making that lentil,
Lentil soup. I
uh,
think that's what it was. Lentil soup, shepherd's pie, and spaghetti sauce.
now I know that news outlets don't like. They are not based on. I can't say they don't like it, but I can say they are not based on good news. But why not spread the good news in news and in our lives? That is what I want to. They call it challenge, but there is no challenge. It is an invitation to
Yes,
spread the good, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no
I'm
challenge.
on board with this.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to hear uh, from people who are watching. What are they doing on a daily basis to make this work? Right? To spread hashtag spread the good.
Spread the good,
Right?
yes.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Right.
And I really this is totally up to you, whether you're the kind of person who likes to spread the bad news or the news. It's totally up to you. But think about the ramification of what this is doing um,
Yeah.
to the people
Yeah.
who you love.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people say, well, it's reality. It's real. You need to know, but we already know.
We already know. That's
There's
the point.
nothing that you can tell me that I don't already know. if we are keeping our own responsibility, if we are doing what we're supposed to do to keep ourselves safe, every single person keeps their own responsibility. That is the best we can do.
So
but stop talking
my
about
plan
it.
is to write 2 other chapters of the book that I started a while ago, and and I am working on an online course that will be getting ready. I mean, I I am continuing teaching online. The college that I'm teaching in has switched to online courses. So basically, I will do what I was doing before, just not traveling in the city. That is a good policy. You see, that is going towards the what is happening in a wise way, with wisdom and with thinking, not with panicking.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, everybody, we will have online courses. I mean, we will switch to online for 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens after 2 weeks. Now, I have time. I have more time. I will do my thing. I would recommend, if you have a March break and you are not going out, you are not going any trip or something like that, have a plan for it. Take time, put just half an hour for it, and list what you are going to do. And you will see that then, when you give structure to your time, that time is well used and with much less stress.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any plan for it, then you will spend whole 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it is not doing anything useful, and then panicking and having stress all the time, all the time, all the time. When you don't do anything, all you do is just surfing through Facebook and spreading all those news and stuff. So have a plan and make use of this time the best that you can do.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the best. I guess that's the best way to go through this time.
So have a plan to do something for something useful to grow your mind, to
Absolutely.
nourish your body, and enlighten your soul. Is that good?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So
That's
okay,
awesome.
so I lost you there for a minute.
Yeah,
I think the connection was bad. But so some things to nourish your mind are like reading, right?
yeah. Reading, watching
Writing,
movie, watching documentary. Please do not watch
apocalyptic movie.
yeah, doomsday movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do not watch that. Do not do that. There are so many beautiful documentaries in YouTube. They are free. You know, there are so many things to
Yes.
learn, so many things to enjoy yourself.
Podcasts.
Podcasts,
Yes.
books. Again, not doomsday books, but there are so many beautiful books, good stories. There are lots of them. Some of them are free. There are so many audiobooks down on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
that you can find.
Yes,
I have,
absolutely.
yeah, I have listened
There are
to many
lots
of
of
them.
them
Yeah.
for free on YouTube for sure.
Right.
I just found out about this app called Scribed, SCRIBD,
Right?
where you can listen to audiobooks, but it's only like $8.99 a month or something.
There are
Uh,
lots of it on for free on YouTube. Yes, some say,
yeah.
honestly, sometimes I see that people have money for the most trivial things in their lives, but not for learning. All
Mm-hmm.
right. For me, learning is an investment, because what is in here cannot be separated from me forever. I can lose this shirt, I can lose anything that I have. As long as I'm alive, I will not lose what I have learned. So to me, any money spent on learning is investment. But
Yes.
yes, some people don't look at it like this. You don't want to spend money? All right, go to YouTube. There
Yeah.
are so many things to learn. Just don't watch bad things, and share what you do. So plan, do, and share, and spread the good.
Okay. Also, so how can we nourish our bodies a little bit more? Maybe exercise.
Exercise, when you're at home, anything that goes on, and even for, I mean, exercise at home is good. If you have a treadmill, much better. If you don't have it, maybe you can do something else. But more than that, I would say, now that you have time, maybe you want to spend time with your family. Maybe you want to play with your children if you haven't played with them for a long time. Just today we had in our mastermind, one of the participants said, Now I have time to play with my children that I haven't been doing that for a long time. And now I'm designing games. She has two young kids, and she is now thinking about finding games, designing plays, something that we can have quality time. This is a time. Make a quality time out of it.
You know,
See?
you reminded me of something. It's like we can now go back to basics. It's like we have a
Absolutely.
chance to go back to basics.
Right.
And sometimes when we get lost, going back to basics is the best way to restart.
You know, some people, this is different for everybody. I mean, people nourish their souls in different ways. Some pray, some write their
Meditate?
gratitude journal. Yeah, some meditate. I would say gratitude journal is a very good way.
Yes.
It's a very good way to nourish your soul. We are grateful. We can be grateful from people, from every, you know, there are so many things. We had a meditation practice that wanted us to list 50 people who had some positive effect on our lives. And I listed 54. Some people listed up to 200 people. You know, everybody who comes to our lives has a positive effect, either by teaching us something or by helping us do something or have some accomplishment. I mean, having a gratitude, a journal of gratitude is a very good way to spend time.
You're gonna
Sometimes
be on my
you want
list,
to call
Dr.
your
Ajam.
mom that you haven't called. Sure, and you are on my list too, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, I mean you were, because I listed 54 people, and I have the list in front of me, and I know that you are there. Now there are ways to nourish your soul, do good things, and spread the good. There are ways to do
Awesome.
that.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's use this time,
That's
and
great.
don't panic.
Don't panic, everybody. Don't panic. Eh?
Don't make a disaster out of something that is not a disaster. That's the
Yes.
point.
Yes. Stop buying toilet paper.
Yeah, that too. That too.
The joke was, if you're going to need 80 rolls of toilet paper for the 2 weeks you're going to be at home, then you have a problem that needed to be addressed a long
Yeah,
time
that's
ago.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, I saw pictures of people buying balls and balls of it. What you gonna do with this? I don't know.
Yeah. The good thing is, and there are a lot of people out there who use humor to lighten up
Yes.
this stressful time, and I love it. I think that's great.
Yes. Humor
Let's
is great.
not forget that this is a temporary situation, that we're going to get out of this, and let's not forget our humanity. Let's
By the
not.
time it is not novel anymore,
Mhm.
then it will be in the context of our life. There are so many things going on, and we don't even notice them because they are not new. This one is new, and it will not be new after a while. For the time being, let's not make a disaster, and let's use our time.
Yes, and let's not forget our compassion
Compassion, yes.
when you're at
Humanity.
the store buying for your
Yes, yeah.
family.
Thank you for noting that. Yeah, for bringing it up. Yeah, you know, some people act as if they are the only person that is important. Yes, I know we are all important for ourselves. We are the most important person for ourselves. That's right. But what about compassion?
Mhm, mhm,
Compassion is the part that makes us human.
mhm.
If we act like as if there is no compassion in us, then we are not acting humane. It is not humanity. The humanity is built on compassion. Let's be considerate of each other. Thank you so much for bringing it up. It's a very good point, very important point.
I think that it's easy to feel compassion during normal times. It's easy,
Yes,
and when it gets
yes,
harder is when we are being tested, and right. So let's not forget that.
yeah.
And also, we have brains.
And we have
Right?
human brains.
Yes,
Let's
and we
make
have
use of
human
it. Let's
brains.
make use of it. Yeah.
Yes,
Which
let's.
has the compassion, which has the rational, which has the logic. Use more of it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I think we're done our time, Dr. Ajam, and I want. But we got a lot of good out of this talk, and I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll connect very soon.
Sure.
And do you have anything else to add?
No, I wrapped it up when you weren't here, and you know the point to not to make disaster. Spend your quality time, make the good use of it, and spread the good, spread the good, spread the good. That's the last word I want to say.
That's awesome. And so with that, I want to wish everybody a happy, relaxing Sunday afternoon. And as always, this is Dela's voice, hoping to spark your soul. Thanks again for joining us today.